Hey, I'm Annabelle. I'm a huge nerd, and I started my business Modular Realms making magnetic double-sided dungeon tiles.
Ooh, and I'm Kate. I discovered poi when I was in a circus. I loved how it felt, and I did my PhD studying its effects on health. And now I run a company, SpinPoi, that works with poi as a therapeutic tool. And today we're talking about
Being a solo female founder.
Why are you a solo female founder?
Well, I'm female because this is the body I was born into, and this is the gender that I'm happy to be. So that one's easy enough.
Right.
Why am I solo? I think the idea was mine to begin with. I didn't set out to make a business. I started with a project that just sort of got out of hand and became a business. But because it was my project and it's such a personal project, it's really hard to bring someone else on board and to trust them with your baby.
Yeah.
And I've got close a couple of times to either getting a partnership or having someone come on with sweat equity and things. But I worry that I won't be able to have the ethics, the values. I worry that I won't be able to captain the ship as well.
Yeah, you've put a lot of care and thought into making it how it is now, and to find someone else that's 100% on the same page as that
is really hard.
Challenging. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I didn't intend to start a business. I kind of actively was searching for co-founders for a little while.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, not right at the start, but somewhere along the way. And I just didn't find anyone.
Yeah.
And I think, you definitely don't want to include someone unless it's exactly the right fit.
Because it's very easy to take someone on board, but it's almost like once you go through that, it's next to impossible to go backwards.
Yeah, I think I had a similar relationship with investment. So I was close to taking it, but that's also a relationship that could potentially last for the lifespan of the business.
Yeah.
And it really needs to be right. So it wasn't a choice. I want to be a solo founder.
No.
It just has happened that way so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and why are you female?
Yes. I you know what's interesting? Back in my day, when I was growing up, there was not a lot of talk about gender identity, gender spectrum, any of that stuff, right? So it was this is who I am. But reflecting back, I was always much more interested in being one of the boys, hanging out with the boys. Wasn't interested in kind of classic stuff that other girls were into at that age.
No.
And I wonder if I had the language and framework to think about gender differently or in a broader, more in-depth way. I wonder if I would have made some different decisions. But I don't know what those decisions would have been. Yeah. But I think I could have felt more comfortable.
Yeah, if you'd grown up in a different culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
But for now, I identify as female. That is how I was born, and there's some cool things about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some not so cool things.
Yeah.
Menstruation goes. What do you like about being a solo founder?
Well, I don't know any other way, so let's preface it with that. Mm-hmm. But it's quite cool to have total autonomy. There's a flip side to that as well, but it's awesome to be able to just make a decision, change my mind in an instant, or if I have a feeling that something is really right or really wrong, it's no one needs to be consulted.
Yeah.
That's great. And I think, even though there's a lot to do, you do know everything that's getting done is getting done exactly the way you want it to be done. So that's quite cool. What about you?
Yeah, I think the freedom I really like. So I imagine that if you had the right partner, you might also have that sense of freedom.
Yeah.
I don't know. But for me, the autonomy and being able to make decisions and have them based on things that are my priorities is really nice. And I think also you have to do everything in the business, which is a lot of work. But also it forces you to learn new skills.
Yes.
And it forces you to know the entirety of the business inside out. Like if someone asks me a question, I know it, or if I don't, then no,
Nobody else does.
Yeah, and I'll go away and find out the answer. But generally I'll know the answer because I know every aspect of the business. And I think that's going to probably stand us in good stead for if we were to have people, if we were to bring on board a team or something.
Yeah.
Because we'll know very well the job they're doing.
Yeah.
We'll be able to introduce them and we know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And they can grow their own freedom and creativity and adapt to the role.
Yeah.
But the core of it and what the business needs, we will have experience in.
Yeah, totally. I think about too every now and then when I hire a freelancer or something to help solve some issue, like I at least have enough knowledge to be able to communicate with that person about what needs to be done.
Yes.
And that's because I was the one doing all the things for the longest time. And that's, I think that will help us just in life in general because we've pushed ourselves
we
out of
become
our
skill monkeys.
comfort zones. And what do you find hard about being a solo founder?
That you have to do everything. Because by and large, I will say that Mum helps me out with shipping the rewards. So she does the packaging and taking to the post office.
Yeah.
And sometimes the inventory management. So I do have help in that respect. But for the other things, if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. So that makes being ill really problematic. I reckon it's added, it's definitely aged me, I would say. And I think the amount of stress and like the effect of cortisol and long term on your body is not good. So I wouldn't want to keep it up for too long.
Yeah.
Is something I'm aware that there's a ticking clock for how long I'm able to keep this up.
Yeah, which is good to have that awareness, I mean, to be fair, even though I'm a solo founder, I'm the only employee of SpinPoi. I have a team of instructors, and I also have a lot of people around me that support me, and I support them in doing stuff. Like a lot of the projects that I've made have only been possible because I was collaborating. So then at the core of it, it does feel quite lonely, and like all the responsibility and weight and pressure, it does fall on me. It wouldn't fall on any of those other people. In the end, it would all come back to me. But I do have support, and like you can do so much more when you're collaborating with other people. It's amazing the capacity to make stuff and do stuff. So that's awesome, and there's something awesome about that feeling. Like you and I doing this together, it's like we have that feeling of having gone through that together and shared that, and that's such a cool feeling. And as a solo founder, you don't get that often. It's just you're toiling away by yourself, like in your bedroom, just nobody. You feel like nobody knows like what it's like, and like people know, but you feel like nobody knows. Yeah, it gets lonely. It does
if I'm
get
honest.
lonely. Yeah,
I really miss brainstorming with people.
Yeah,
like sharing ideas and like just chatting water cooler moments.
Yeah.
And like saying, hey, I'm doing this thing, and someone going, oh, have you or going, I'm stuck, have you tried this? Oh no. Oh, have you tried this? No, but actually thinking about it, maybe I could, like, those moments. I miss them.
You can still, like, I still have those moments, but when someone's not invested in the company like you are, it's different, right? It's like if you actually have someone working alongside you, and you're both, that's a different feeling, even though like being able to call upon friends and stuff is really awesome too.
Yes. I believe that Modular Realms could be so much. It could do really well. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good product. I think there's a real future for it. And I know it could have gone so much further if there were more people helping.
Yes.
And the fact that, for example, one of my competitors, I think, has Dwarven Forge have at least 6 employees, I think more like 12. They can do 12 times as much as me because they've got 12 times more hours in the day.
Yeah.
Like, so it's a lot harder to keep up with people because even running twice as fast as them, you're still going at half the speed.
I think about that a lot. I think about how the growth has felt really slow.
Yeah.
And I do attribute a lot of that to one person and X amount of hours,
Yes.
you know, in the day. I envision by year 4, which is where I'm at, that SpinPoi would be much bigger or more successful in some kind of traditional ways. But then I've also come to like settle into this pace of growth right now, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The middle period.
Yeah.
I would say we're in the middle period.
I think
like
so.
we've moved out of the really early baby. We're toddlers.
Yeah, it's not like critical startup first year crazy zone.
No.
Thank God.
When running a business and doing work for SpinPoi, have you experienced sexism?
Yes. Imagine if I said no.
Oh, that would be such a setup.
Next question. As all women and many other people in the world have experienced like sexism or some form of discrimination, like since I can remember. I had like an epiphany about it. I remember when I was in Chicago playing in a few different bands, and I would just continually, like, I would go on stage and do like something that took me like 3 months to learn, and it was like I felt like it was a high skill level, and I was really proud of the thing. And then I would walk off, and someone would be like, "You look hot," you know. And it was just like, so I became aware that I can't control what other people think. I can't control what they're gonna say. And for a while, I briefly just stopped performing because it was like I have to be okay being in the public eye, knowing that weird people and weird comments and stuff is going to come at me, and if I'm not okay with that, then I shouldn't do it. So I kind of like worked through that at some stage, and then I made a really conscientious effort to try to eliminate like anything feminine about myself when being the face of SpinPoi. Like, obviously I look the way that I look, but like there's how you dress, how you talk, the things you say, because I just experienced those comments all the time. Like, I would put out a video and someone would be like, "Will you marry me?" You know, and it's like, okay, I'm going to do everything in my power to like try to eliminate that. And it kind of worked to a degree.
Okay.
I just kept everything like ultra professional, but then at the expense of like my personality.
It's so sad to suppress part of your character.
Yeah, just being me. And then I had a real weird relationship. It's like you see other people making kind of sexy content, you know, and it's like, in one way, it's like, you know, more power to them. Yeah. And I'm over here like trying to battle it from like a different angle, you know, and it's like, what am I doing? So yes, I've experienced sexism. I think I'm in a place where I expect it, and I just move through it. Like, the people that are going to support me are going to support me. Yeah. And then there's like the dark underbelly of society.
Yes. Yeah.
How about you?
I think, well, definitely experienced it so many times in so many ways. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think it ranges from like the casual things. So at conventions, I'm talking to lots of people about the terrain. And for example, at Comic-Con, I had a friend help out. Really nice guy and really lovely, so generous with their time. But they weren't like super knowledgeable about the business. But people would come up and they would talk to him and not me. And he would direct them to me. And then they would still talk to him. And they'd be like, "She knows the answer." But they didn't want the answer from me. Yeah. And I found, like, so that's just a small way that these things happen a lot. Yeah. I've had it in emails where I've been trying to get a manufacturer or whatever, and I've said, "These are my designs," and someone's mistaken me for the secretary and asked to be put in contact with the person that designed it. And I was like, "No, I designed it." And they're like, "Yeah, but can you put us in contact with the person who actually designed it?" And I was like, "Well, I guess I'm not working with you." Yeah. Like, it limits your... Yeah. And then, yeah, you just face it in many different ways. And sometimes people put prices up more than they would for your male counterparts. Yeah. I think since starting a business, I've faced it more. Yeah. And I think also because I've had to go into manufacturing, and that can be quite a male-dominated sphere. So that kind of highlights it a bit. Also, the tabletop community for Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games traditionally has been more male-orientated. The starting of the game was very sexist. Yeah. So, you know, I've put a foot in two industries where you're more likely to face sexism.
Yeah.
So it's certainly become more part of my life. I've had more of an understanding of how discrimination can hold you back on your path, on your career, on what you're doing, and it's something you can't control.
Yeah, can't change it.
You will have to perhaps pay more money, or you will get a worse service, or people won't listen to your advice, or they won't listen to your ideas, so it ends up costing you money when they ignore it. And then the thing that you said would happen happens, and then, you know. And so there's a huge extra cost in both time, energy, and money. And it makes me think, how much harder must it be for female founders of colour?
Yeah.
They must be really up against it.
Yeah. Or like a founder who has a disability of some kind.
Yes,
or
like a visible one. Yeah.
Yeah. Has sexism changed anything about the way you run your business?
Yes, for sure. There were times at the start when I'd been trying to get manufacturers and founders and suppliers, and people weren't taking me seriously. I tried signing my name off with a gender neutral name.
Yeah.
To see, and that was interesting.
Did you notice anything?
Yeah, you were treated better.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel true to myself.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing that. But I've definitely been more nervous posting pictures of my face on the internet, because you do get comments from time to time.
Of course.
There are some people that just can't resist. And it's like, it shouldn't get to you. Like, I know you're not meant to let it get to you. You're meant to have a thick skin and, just ignore them. And it's like, yeah, I know. But somehow standing up to the plate, putting another picture up, knowing there's a chance you'll get it, it's just that little bit harder.
Yeah. It does wear on you. It's in the back of it's in the back of your mind.
Exactly.
It's a thing that you're aware of all the time.
Yeah, and it's like, am I inviting this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why, like I was saying earlier, I wanted to do everything in my power to not invite it. So for a while I did really change like how I was presenting. But I think I'm doing less of that now, to be fair. I think I stand by what's being put out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think after 4 years of comments coming in, opportunities lost, all the things, you're just like, well, like, this is who I am. So
I've definitely got that, like, now I'm just, when you kind of, I do something and I see someone treat me differently, I'll second guess myself and I'll be like, maybe I'm just making a fuss.
Yes.
Because, oh my God, there are so many people out there that are willing to tell you that it's you. The problem is you. It's not them, you're taking it wrong.
Yeah.
Or you're misunderstanding. And it's like, and it's always guys that say that.
I was going to say, it's people who don't have that personal experience.
It's well-meaning people that don't have the personal experience that think they're being honest.
Yeah.
Like, well, they are being honest. They think they're being helpful, but they're actually perpetuating the cycle. I sort of accept it's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And also, if I notice, say I'm reaching out to new companies to see if I can work with them or whatever, if I notice someone's treating me worse or giving me sexist comments, I kind of think, well, there's a self-selecting thing, you're in the reject pile.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Maybe it's ultimately helping us find people that are just more aligned with our general morals and values anyway.
That's true.
Weeding them out at an early stage.
Yes. If you had the choice of being not a solo founder, would you take it?
It complicates things, right?
Yeah.
So my first thought was like, yes, like it would be amazing if I found the right person.
Yeah.
To have that. But then I think it gets doubly, if not more, everything gets more complex because now there's two people that have to be involved in a lot of different aspects. Although you're not both in charge of all the same bits. But there's that constant interplay. But I think yes. I'm in other projects that are like bands, where we're all equally in charge.
Yeah.
And it's such a nice experience.
Yeah, I bet.
There is sometimes arguments, disagreements, we don't see things the same way. You have to compromise. None of that do you have to do when you're working by yourself. Yes. But I feel like the trade-off is actually worth it because the richness that comes from having multiple hands on deck and ideas and
the richness in diversity.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, man, it's if I found the right person, I think I would want to do a partnership thing.
Yeah.
But I think it would be very, very hard to give up.
Yeah.
Say 50% of Modular Realms, especially because the business is so personal to me and it's been a reflection of myself. It shares all my values. It would be like trying to give away a piece of your soul. And I think it would be the right decision. And if it was with the right person, it would mean that you could go so much further and do so much more. And it could open up so many avenues.
Yeah.
But you'd have to give away a piece of your soul.
It'll be hard.
I think even if I found the right person and I knew this was going to be amazing, it would still be really difficult.
Because you cannot control other people. You don't know what's going to happen. You can make every promise to each other and sign every contract and whatever, but you actually have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. You just don't know the future.
No. I mean, I guess that's true of just being a solo founder as well.
That's true. But yeah. Were people encouraging about you being a solo founder at the start?
Absolutely not.
No.
No one is ever encouraging.
Never.
Of you being a solo founder.
Nope.
No one's ever said that sounds like a great idea. You should keep doing that.
I've not had a single person say a positive, no. No. Everyone tells you this is a bad idea.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Yes.
And if you are doing it, there's something wrong with you.
Yes, and you will probably fail.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's almost taken as a guarantee that you'll fail. Yeah. And then there's also, I've had someone say, oh, you're not sharing your business because you're greedy. You're like Gollum with the precious.
Yes.
And I'm like,
that too.
Is that who I am? Is that really what I am?
It's not greed. And that's different from what you're saying about, it would be hard to trust somebody. It's like you've put a lot of care into the things and you're not keeping them because you want them for yourself. It's like you just want to make sure it's looked after.
It's like finding a co-parent for your child.
Yeah.
I think you have to be sure. You can't find someone and be like, you'll probably do.
Exactly.
You seem nice.
Yeah.
Be a co-parent to my child for the rest of their lives.
Yes. Definitely that.
Oh.
So we're going to Google some things that I've said about why you shouldn't be a solo founder, and we'll see if they line up with us or not.
Perfect. Pros of being a solo founder. You have the potential to become $1 billion startup and you're the 100% equity.
Is that the first pro?
The first pro.
I would say that's completely unrealistic.
Yes.
As a solo founder, your chance of getting to that level, where are they coming from?
And you'd have all the money. And it's like, okay.
This is bizarre.
Okay, independence, you take all the decisions by your own and have the responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But also, have the responsibility when you make a mistake. Is that a pro?
That's in the pros.
Yeah, that's in the pros. I'll put that as neutral at best.
Agreed.
No drama. Okay, one of the main reasons startups fail is conflicts in the founding team.
Fair.
Yes.
Agreed. Good point.
Yeah. Cons of being a solo founder. Expertise. You are not an ultimate expert in all matters of the world. Very true. Who is? So you have to hire freelancers or subcontractors to get things done. It could be expensive and result in multiple unsuccessful attempts for collaboration. Well, it could, but also...
Yes and no. I mean, look, even if you have multiple people on your team, as they said, nobody is an expert in everything.
No.
You're always going to have to outsource in some way. I hear what they're saying. You have limited knowledge, and so...
I agree that with two people, you have twice the amount of life experience.
Agreed.
But
I
don't think that hiring freelancers or subcontractors. Well, I know that different companies with more founders do that
absolutely.
as well. That's not limited to solo founders.
No, and it's not more expensive. It's
No.
way cheaper. Imagine
Way
paying
cheaper.
someone a salary.
Exactly.
Versus
You
hiring someone for 2 hours.
Exactly. A founder's salary compared to someone on Fiverr is...
Yeah.
But I do agree that having more knowledge and expertise, say a partner who was...
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Discussion, you're alone, your perspective is limited, you have no one to discuss your issues with.
I feel like someone's like, you're alone.
Your perspective is limited, Kate. You're limited, you're alone, there's no one to talk to.
God. Yes, agreed. I mean, agreed. I agree. But of course you have people around you.
Yeah, I mean, we discuss our issues, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Or at least I discuss mine with you.
No, we do.
We do,
Like,
yeah.
that is a fair point, but you do have to seek that support elsewhere.
Yes, yeah. Support. No one has your back. Fuck me. No one has your back during ups and downs. Which can often be difficult to handle.
Solo founder hermits who are living in caves.
They're not only solo founders, they're just solo in their lives.
Totally off the grid.
I will say a lot of people have my back.
Yeah.
A lot of people have my back.
Maybe even more so because we're solo founders.
Yeah. Because we've had to reach out to more people.
So, yeah.
You also get respect for being solo. People
Absolutely.
go, wow, you did this all by yourself
Yeah,
or
people
whatever.
are impressed and supportive. Yeah.
Yeah. Give up. Shit, give up.
It does not say that.
It says,
It does not.
Give up. Solo founders usually give up easier. Bitch! I am... Oh...
Annabelle's working for another 30 years just from reading that.
I am not someone that gives up. I don't,
Yeah.
And I resent the idea that I am more likely to give up because I'm on my own. Because I think, depending on who you're with, if you're with someone that's not as interested, it can drag you down. Or someone that's not working as hard or whatever.
Yeah.
I think on your own doesn't make you more likely to give up.
Do you think this is acquired from some statistics about solo founders or something? Because I do think for some reason aren't companies that are spearheaded by a solo founder more likely to fail?
Yeah, which I think that I understand, because you're more likely to fail maybe because of burnout, because of overwork, because of not having enough experience or a breadth of knowledge. But because you just give up, I think that's... I disagree with the reasons why.
Yeah, I'd say you're often more driven as a solo founder.
Yeah.
Because the responsibility lies on you. It's your thing.
Yeah.
Ultra driven. I don't know what they meant by give up. Just like for no particular reason you throw in the towel, or it's like for some of the reasons that you said, like stuff wasn't working. And so you're like, okay, it's time to throw in the towel. I don't know.
Now this one I do think. Investors prefer teams because in their mind it lowers their risk of return.
Yeah.
Very true.
Agreed.
I've tried to get investment and been told, not unless you have a partner.
Yeah.
We won't invest in a solo.
Yeah.
So
Same. Can we quickly Google the statistics on likelihood of a solo founder company to fail?
Solo founders are less likely to dissolve or suspend their business with a 54 and 41% lower likelihood compared to 3-person and 2-person teams.
So it's better to be a solo founder.
Really?
Wait, maybe click on that thing. Okay.
The companies founded by a single entrepreneur tended to have a longer lifespan compared to those started by teams. So why is everyone being so bitchy about it?
I don't know. Also, why have I never looked this up before?
Yeah, I just accepted what everyone was telling me.
Me too. So we're doing great.
So...
And everyone else is lying to us.
The amount of time people have told me...
So many times.
That I'm gonna fail because I'm a solo founder, or that I need a partner, that I can't do it on my own, and that I'm being contrary by doing it on my own.
Yeah. I always thought they were citing some research or something.
Yeah, I thought they had a reason to say it.
Me too.
Oh, that's horrible. 90% of startups fail within 5 years.
Heard that.
Oh, God. So we've got 1 more year to go.
Oh, my gosh. We're not out of the woods yet.
No, we're still in Sniper's Alley.
Okay. Should I stop?
Yeah, probably.
Should I stop? Okay.
This is blowing my mind.